Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people. Good morning. Good morning. Cold Front Mafia. Man, today's an exciting day because we got a lot to get into. And quite frankly, I can't wait. Very, very excited. So get ready, strap in. We're going to go through what we just learned, what was just confirmed by Beane and the Buffalo Bills. Not that it's very surprising. However, it's been confirmed the scheme and the layout to which the Buffalo Bills defensive line will be for the year of 2026. Beane, hello, Shannon. Hello, everyone. Before we get going, please do me a favor. We're getting so close. We're gaining some momentum. I need you, and I ask of you, please take the few seconds to subscribe and follow the channel, new and upcoming channel. But we're working hard. We're getting there. We're gaining some momentum, and we have big goals. We want to be, well, I don't know. They're not that big. But I want to be around 1,000. I want to get to the 1,000 subscriber mark by the beginning of the 2026 NFL season. So if you would, please do me that favor. I appreciate all of you. I love you. Help a brother out, would you? Thank you. Let's get right into it. Yesterday, the Democrat and Chronicle came out with an article. They sat down with Beane, and he went over what he says the defensive scheme for the Buffalo Bills will be for next year. We all knew that Jim Leonhard was going to bring in the 3-4 defense, the odd man front. But now it's been pretty much exactly and completely confirmed by Beane that is exactly how it will look. And I'm going to tell you, here's what he says that this line will look like. And these were all the question marks. Everyone assumed that Jim Leonhard would be running a particular style of defense. However, that it's confirmed that we want to go through it. And then I want to talk about who's going to be fitting which role and in which position, okay? Because we have some guys that really showed themselves last year. We got some young talent. We got some middle-aged talent. I'm hoping that we still bring in another free agent. And then will the Bills have to address a couple of these defensive line positions in the draft? I think that also, because they have not made move, particularly at nose tackle yet. So we'll get into it. But I'm going to tell you what what Democrat and Chronicle tells us that Beane said about the defensive line, amongst many other things. Great article. I suggest that you go to their website and take a look and read through this because it's very informative. And these guys have some good insight for sure. And I like to stay up on what they have to say. So Beane says, or they say that the way that Beane explained it, the front, meaning the defensive line, okay, will include 2 outside linebackers, which we assumed, on the outside of the edge, right, on the line of scrimmage, probably in a 2-point position, not hand on the ground, but stand up. A 3-tech defensive tackle, a nose tackle, and a defensive end. What does that mean? First things first, I put a short video out this morning kind of explaining with visuals as far as what a 3-tech means and what a nose tackle and or defensive end means on the line of scrimmage versus what you see almost every day from defensive lines. And I'm going to show this to you, what I feel is the easiest way and the best graphic that we have here, okay? So what does Beane when he means a 3-tech and a defensive tackle? Well, here it is. This is the best description that I can find, and it does a really good job of telling us what exactly these positions actually mean, if it will load at any time. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to bring this over here just so I can see it and zoom this in. This is a general scope or idea of what these techniques mean on the defensive line. This is where they're lining up pre-snap, okay? It does not necessarily tell us what their scheme is, what they're doing, what their responsibilities are, if they're stunts, if they're dropping into coverage, if they're slanting. You know, there's a whole lot that can happen after the snap, but pre-snap, this is what the defensive schemes mean. So you have your 0 and 1 lining over the center. This is your predominant nose tackle. Okay, this is what we mean by nose tackle. This is what they mean, he means. So either dead nuts in the center chest of the center right over the ball or on either shoulder of that center a little bit offset. That's your 1 or your 0. When you hear 1 tech, that's what people mean when they say this. 1 tech, position 1. Now we go back to Brandon Beane. He does say nose tackle. Then he says, obviously, the two outside backers, which are stand-up guys in this 7 position, basically. 6 or 7 position, depending on the line and where the tight ends are and so forth. And then you have a 3-tech defensive tackle. You see this 3. Outside shoulder of the guard predominantly, all right? This is generally a mix between a leaner, more athletic defensive end and the nose tackle. The nose tackles usually are big body space eaters, taking double teams, stuffing the run, not allowing gaps in the A gaps, as you notice here, just taking on space, not necessarily going to end a season with 70 or 80 tackles, okay? He's not flying around making plays all over the field, but he's just taking bodies up and absorbing space so that his linebackers and his more potentially athletic people on the defensive side of the football can do what they do, which is make plays and flying around. All right, that's the 3-tech, outside of the guard, the outside shoulder of the offensive guards. Then he says on top, which will be the 5th number on the defensive line, is a defensive end. Generally speaking, your defensive ends are even more athletic and a little slimmer than that of your 3-tech guy, and certainly that of your 0 or 1-tech guy. All right, mainly in the 5 position, maybe a 4 over the tackle, not often, but sometimes inside the tackle at the 4-eye, but generally 4 and 5 positions, even the 6-eye from time to time, depending on the personnel of the offense. Okay, this is what Brandon Beane now has confirmed to us. So when they say 3-4, I know, and again, I don't know the level of understanding for people that are here hanging out with us. The 3-4 defense is generally 3 defensive linemen and 4 linebackers. And you can get thrown off by saying or watching a game or watching replays or highlights or whatever, and you can say to yourself, well, wait a minute, there's five guys on the line of scrimmage. How the hell is that a 3-4? Well, in this type of scheme, the outside defensive edge guys are kind of a hybrid between an end or an edge rusher and an outside linebacker. You can call them whatever the hell you want to call them, but technically in this defense, they're outside linebackers. Hence the reason that you have 3 linemen and 4 backers. And there's generally an odd man front. The Buffalo Bills for many, many years have ran the opposite, an even man front, a 4-3. 4 defensive linemen, almost all of which are down in a 3 or 4 point stance, meaning either one hand plus their 2 feet or 2 hands plus their 2 feet, are on the ground, not standing upright in an athletic position because their duties are not necessarily running wide around or dipping shoulder leverage or punching the outside or inside shoulder of the defensive tackle like the outside linebackers generally do. So it looks like a 5-man front, and it is, but it's an odd man front. So the 3-4 defense is almost always an odd man front. It might be 3, but it's generally 5. So I just want to clear that air. So here we go. Right now, understanding that Beane has confirmed just yesterday publicly that we have a nose tackle, which is, let's call him a 0 or a 1 on this chart. We have a 3-tech, which we see as the outside shoulder of the guard. We have a defensive end, which, again, predominantly is in that 5 position. And then we have our 2 edge guys, outside linebackers. I'm quoting here, outside linebackers. What does that mean for the Buffalo Bills? Well, currently, if we make no signings and no drafts, I'm assuming that Deone Walker is our 0/1. Deone Walker is the nose tackle. I would like to see TJ Sanders as the 3-tech. TJ Sanders spent a lot of time last year at a defensive end, a little bit too wide, in my opinion, for his abilities and his characteristics where he can produce at the highest level. I think he was asked to spend way too much time out wide in that 5-6-eye position, more like a defensive end. So if it's up to me, based on the film that I watched, you have Deone Walker, again, right now. Deone Walker, nose tackle. TJ Sanders, that 3-tech. Eddie Oliver in that 5 position. I think he's better suited there than TJ Sanders. I'd rather see Eddie Oliver in the 3-tech position personally. However, if I had to determine who's going to be 3 versus 5, I would say Eddie Oliver is better at the 5 than TJ Sanders would be at the 5. He's definitely better at the 3, but I think he's better at the 5, almost necessary evil, so to speak. That's my take on this. And then, so those are our 3 down defensive linemen. And then you have Bradley Chubb and Greg Russo on the outside as the outside linebackers. Excuse me. What are we going to do at linebacker? Well, that's for another day because, well, I mean, we can get into this in a little later, but right now, as it sits, I don't freaking know. Dorian Williams, Joe Andreessen. We don't know about Milano. We don't know about Shaq Thompson. And we certainly don't know about Mr. Strong, which, again, we hope that he stays healthy for his well-being and his livelihood. Forget about football for a minute, but like to hope that he can be healthy with his neck. So right now, I don't know about linebacker. And I'm talking the 2 middle backers that are not on the line. Not the outside linebackers we were just referring to. You know, I just want to make that clear. That's another position we need to make sure that we understand and we get a hold of, obviously, prior to week 1 in 2026. I'm going to show you right now why I think it is imperative that the Buffalo Bills get after a nose tackle. And I'll tell you, my number 1 is DJ Reader. I'm going to show you why. We'll show you some clips. We're also going to get into what he could potentially or should be worth. And then I'll show you why he, to me, is much more beneficial than Deone Walker at nose tackle. And if we do sign him, then Deone Walker can move on out. I almost like Deone Walker at the 5, and then we bring Eddie Oliver in at the 3. And now we're cooking with gas, folks. Now our explosive runs against and our 150 yards on the ground that we gave up every single week, week in and week out, do not, well, it just doesn't, it simply does not happen as often. If ever, I mean, they're going to give up a game where they give up 150, 200 yards, just like any defense in the world, most likely, but it's not going to be anywhere close to that of what we gave up last year. So let's get right into it. Understand this graphic here. It's going to highlight it again. Nose tackle, 0-1 tech. Over the center. Could shift on a shoulder or dead nuts over the ball. 3 tech, outside shoulder of the guard. Either side. 5 tech, outside shoulder of the tackle. The opposite side of where the 3 tech goes, of course. And then your 2 edge guys in a 2-point stance doing their thing. All right? Let's break it down. Which one do I want to show first here? I believe this is what I want to show first. All right. This is Deone Walker. I'm sorry. Why? That's not what I want to do. I do not want to do DJ first. My apologies. We'll get to that. Sorry, boys. All right. DJ Walker. DJ Walker. No, I'm thinking DJ Reader, fellas. This is Deone Walker, but that's not the one that I'm going to show you first. All right, here we go. Deone Walker. As you can see, this is generally, he's right dead nuts over the right guard. Okay, this is actually in the playoffs. This is against the Jaguars. He had a really good start to the season, had a decent middle, and then he finished pretty strong. But again, he was asked to do some things that I feel that he's not the best suited for, as was TJ Sanders, which we'll show you an example of that as well. So here's our 4 down linemen. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see that. Totally different defense than what Jim Leonard is going to be running. You have 4 down linemen. You have 3 backers. One of them's out of the picture unless they're running a nickel here, and we can't. It's not spanned out enough, so I'm not too sure. And it doesn't matter for the sake of what I'm trying to do here and show you. All right? So people on TikTok, bear with me. I'm going to get to everybody, I promise, but just I'm showing some film. If you want to see the film and my reasonings behind Deone and DJ Walker and a little bit of TJ Sanders, please hop over to YouTube as well. You can see my screen, and I'm showing them the film, okay? All right, Deone Walker. Basically in a 2-tech. I want you to notice this. This is a run right up the gut that went for 12 yards, all right? There's nobody over center in this situation, as you can see, because you have 2 defensive tackles and 2 defensive ends. That's Matt Milano's responsibility. He's about 4 yards off the line of scrimmage, right over center. Deone Walker jumps to the inside of this guard initially on the snap. He realizes that now there's an enormous gap to his left side in that B gap. to which he then tries to chuck this offensive guard, which he does a pretty good job doing. There's a massive hole that he creates prior to chucking. So he chucks, he tries to get back into the hole that was left open. Does a good job, but he's already been pushed back 2 to 2.5 yards from the line of scrimmage. And when he hops over into that B gap, he leaves a wide open cut lane. All right, you can see he's well, maybe not 2.5, but he's 2 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. He is not your quintessential. What did we talk about with the nose tackle position? Eating up space, not allowing the line of scrimmage to be pushed deep into the defensive zone, okay? That's their job, not necessarily to make plays and big-time tackles for loss, but taking up bodies, getting double-teamed, not leveraging, the line of scrimmage, and just stuffing up the middle of the line of scrimmage so nobody's running up the gut. That's their job, allowing other guys to also make plays with them just stuffing and eating space. Again, not necessarily Deone Walker's forte. He's a big, huge man, but I think some of it is his height. I think he's 6'7", also works against him for leverage when just trying to stand up and eat some space. So he kind of chucks that offensive guard, throws him to his left, which we're seeing is our right, allowing that cutback that goes for 12 yards. Now, does Daquan Jones do anything here? No, he doesn't. Does Matt Milano kind of get, let's call it what it is, beat? He tries to swim move over the center when the center's going to the second line. Second level of defense. Swim move goes the wrong way. Cutback's there all day. That's 12 yards, all right? That's not exactly the best thing that we want to see, but it happened. Going to go to another one here before I go to the third. I had the wrong one pulled up. My apology. Deone, 2 tech Jags. That's what I just ran. Deone, 1 tech Jags. Deone, 1 tech push. All right. I'm going to pull this one up here first. All right, another Deone. Here's a 1 tech situation. Oh, no, that's DJ Reader again. You know what? We're going to him. My apologies. Did not mean that. We're going to get to him. Okay, here it is. Okay, take a look. I'm going to back this up. Deone Walker, 1 tech. All right, right over the inside shoulder of the center we were just explaining. All right. Now, I circled TJ Sanders as well, who's more in that 3-ish position on the inside of the tackle, inside shoulder of the tackle, because I want you to pay attention to him as well, because he's a part of this conversation, okay? TJ Sanders also was asked to play a little bit too wide, in my opinion, throughout the season. I'm not a general manager, head coach, or defensive coordinator for the NFL, but this is my after what I saw and then what I watch on tape. But mainly the circle over Deone Walker in the 1 tech. Okay, watch this. This is a handoff right up the middle. It seems as if, first glance, that he does his job. And I'm not saying he really doesn't here, but he gets a double team from the center and the guard. The guard kind of chips him and then comes up field to Shaq Thompson there, number 45. TJ Sanders does a really good job of taking an inside cut inside of actually, I think it was the guard. Yeah, he jumps inside of the guard. He really blows his play up. But Deone Walker, notice, he tries to stuff, and his leverage is not there. He's 6'7". He cannot get under the pad level of the center. The center's pad level was below Deone Walker's shoulders. Therefore, it's hard for Deone Walker to even hold where he is, which is a big-time responsibility of a nose tackle. Just hold that line like we spoke about. Don't get pushed back. The reality is Deone Walker gets pushed back a couple of yards here. Now, this play goes for basically no gain whatsoever. But TJ Sanders makes a hell of a play to disrupt this backfield. And I'm noting this here. So you have the center and the guard kind of pinch Deone, but he gets moved back. And then you have a tremendous play here also by TJ Sanders, ripping inside the inside left shoulder of the right guard. That's what blows this play up. if I'm being honest. And DJ Walker does not get completely torched here, but see where that line of scrimmage is. See where his feet are now versus where they end up when this play is made. He gets pushed back. He does get chipped again by the guard, but he gets pushed back. Again, I'm not saying Deone Walker is no good. I think he's fantastic, but you see this, his leverage is not there. He is starting to get pushed back. He creates a kind of a hesitation, no doubt, but he gets pushed back, and it's not exquisite, so to speak. This is why I don't know if Deone Walker is truthfully the answer for nose tackle, for trying to be elite. I'm not saying I don't want Deone Walker on this line. I want him there almost every damn play. But I just don't think that we should be asking him for those responsibilities, play in, play out, series in, series out. Okay? So let's move on to where I feel we need to go. And before I do that, I'm going to show you at least what spot feels is the market value for DJ Reader. Here it is. DJ Reader, free agent. The market value is $3.9 million a year, 2 years, $7.5-ish million. For what I'm about to show you, again, brief sample. I'm not saying that I have 1,000 clips here, which we could do, but it would take us forever. But for what I'm about to show you, I think the money is more than reasonable. 100%. If we can get him for something around these numbers. Now, why has he not been signed anywhere yet? That's a question. Question mark. Invalid. I don't know. Kind of weird, if you ask me. He hasn't been signed. And for this kind of money that they're saying that he should be or could be signed for, I think it's more than reasonable. So let's get that out. Get this in. All right. Oh, I got to bring it back here. DJ Reader. What is the first thing you guys notice about this defense? Unlike the clips that we were just showing you of Deone Walker, what are you noticing about this defense? Anybody? I'll tell you what I noticed at first glance. This is the exact 3-4 defense that we're talking about. This is what Jim Leonhard is going to be running. And this is exactly what Brandon Beane just said in his article that came out yesterday, that the Buffalo Bills are running. Let's go over it again. Nose tackle. See DJ Reader right there at a 1 spot. You see a 2 on one side. You see a 3 on one side. You see the 5, because number 92 there is shifting to his left. So you see the 5 zone, which is your defensive end. And then you see your 2 outside linebackers on the side. On the line, 5 men on the line. This is a 3-4 defense. This is exactly what DJ Reader's used to. This is exactly what our nose tackle needs to do in a 3-4 defense. Watch. To run off to the tackle. Look what DJ Reader does, folks. He takes this center who's trying to get around his left shoulder. He's playing on the outside of him as a 1. He tries to get around him, pinch him, and actually push him back towards the left hash of the field. DJ Reader says, no, thank you. No, thank you. Again, nose tackles, in my mind, not necessarily there to make 50 tackles, 60 tackles a year, but disrupt the hell out of that play and allow your other guys to make plays all over the football field, which is exactly what he does right here. Got to show it again. Look at him. He is just driving. Look at this center. He's up like this. Talk about the leverage, right? DJ Reader is, I don't know exactly how tall, but I can tell you he's, I'm going to look it up right now because I'm telling you, leverage is everything when it comes to a nose tackle. He's 6'3". He's not 6'7". He's 6'3", 330 pounds. That's what he's listed at. So he can get underneath that center, underneath the pad level of the center, and leverage him. Look at the center. From right here, he gets under the pads. Look at the center. He's literally like this. DJ Reader is pushing up under his shoulders. There's nothing anybody can do if you have a 330-pound man underneath your pad level, shoving you back as hard as he can. There's nothing anybody can do to stop it. Now, DJ Reader does not get credit for this tackle for loss here against a very strong rush attack from the Green Bay Packers and Josh Jacobs. But what he does is he just allows Josh Jacobs to go freaking nowhere. He takes the center and drives him 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage and from his center position all the way to the defensive end position. Like 3 gaps out. And he just blows it up. And then it's a gang tackle, right? Everybody gets in on the play. Again, I don't think he got credit for this tackle in the box score, but it doesn't matter. Just going to watch this one more time because it's exactly what you need in a 3-4 defense. By far what you need. Look how far he pushes this man back. See you later. Unbelievable. Very nicely done by DJ Reader. This is what we need. So for $3.5 million a year, consider me in. I got some more on him that I want to show you as well. I'm going to go here first. All right. DJ Reader again. What do you notice? Defense. 5 man on the line. 3 down linemen. 2 guys in a 2-point. Okay, now they do a little wrinkle here. They, motion out Jordan Love and they direct snap to Josh Jacobs. But watch DJ Reader. See you later, guard. See you later, guard. Like, he's 5 yards in the backfield. Does he get credit for the tackle? No, but where does look at what Josh Jacobs has to do. Literally, he has to right here completely stop. All his momentum is gone. And it's only split seconds, right? It's just a split second. You got to stop a running back's momentum, and what can happen? Well, the rest of your team just swarms his ass because these guys can only sustain blocks for so long. So I just put in these lines here for reference. That's where he started, and that's where he ended up. That is a DJ Reader stop, even though he doesn't get the tackle in the box score. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. His strength, his leverage is really I don't know why he's not signed anywhere. He's not the youngest man in the world, okay? He's 31. He's going to be 32. Okay, but that's why he's $3.5 million. Last one here for him coming up. This is against another very good rush attack in the Philadelphia Eagles. I know they weren't what they were last year, okay? So before you get all on my butt, I understand it. However, still a good rushing team. Again, 3-4 defense. 1 tech, inside shoulder of the center. What happens here? He does not get the push into the backfield that he did in the prior 2 clips, does he? But where does Saquon Barkley have to go? Watch DJ Reader. First of all, he gets clipped again by the guard, number 51. The center attacks him. Center stays on him. DJ Reader realizes that he cannot necessarily push that center back into the backfield. So what does he do? He only drops down on his knee. This is a new I don't say new, but it's a mechanic that these defensive linemen are using for leverage. They drop down to a knee to make it harder for them to go anywhere. They almost plant themselves off of their knee. Therefore, that center is not going to, bare minimum, he's not going to push the nose tackle and DJ Reader back. So he's just leveraging himself, dropping down to a knee and not allowing anything to push him back. And he just stands that thing up. And again, a split second, Saquon Barkley has absolutely nowhere right there. He has absolutely nowhere to go. He's just stuck behind 2 massive offensive linemen. You see that guard, or I'm sorry, it must be the right tackle, got blown up as well. But DJ Reader just solidifies the center of that offensive line and doesn't allow anyone to go anywhere. This is what we need in this style of defense. And for $3.5 million, if that's truly the number, I'm actually surprised that he's not a Bill yet, if I'm being honest. I really am surprised. But that said, he's not. It still doesn't mean that I don't think that the Bills will make a move, but that's the style of defensive lineman that I think we need. Because, listen, here's our depth pieces, right? He also came out, Brandon Beane did in the same article, and said that combination of Bradley Chubb, Greg Rousseau, and Michael Hoyt will be the outside backers on the line of scrimmage in a 2-point. That's the rotation, if you will. And I'll read it to you. The edge rotation is strong with Chubb, Rousseau, and Hoyt, with perhaps Javon Solomon and a draft pick also in the mix. Deone Walker, Dwayne Carter, not going to be Mr. Jones, especially after what he tweeted about a month ago. And Fedarian Mathis could work in as the nose. Again, $3.5 million. Give me a solidified nose, please, and then push Deone Walker outside a little bit. Walker, Ed Oliver, TJ Sanders would fit as the 3 techs. That's what we're talking about, right? And those 3 plus Landon Jackson could be a fit at the end position. Landon Jackson remains to be seen. Barely any playing time last year, got hurt, didn't play really at all, I think, and he didn't even have a good training camp. It was, I don't know what he's going to be. I don't think anybody does at this moment in time. So that's your mix. Bradley Chubb, Greg Rousseau, Michael Hoyt, Javon Solomon, Deone Walker, Dwayne Carter, Fedarian Mathis, Eddie Oliver, TJ Sanders, Landon Jackson. To me, TJ Sanders needs to play in that 3. You mix around Eddie Oliver and Deone Walker from the 3 to the 5, back and forth. Yes, of course, you have Solomon in the mix on the edge with Hoyt, Rousseau, and Bradley Chubb. And you got a pretty damn good defensive line as long as we can solidify the linebacking core. I mean, I can't complain if we get a true nose tackle. Because when Walker is, I mean, he's not going to play every snap, right? When he's being rotated out, who's the other nose? Dwayne Carter, Fedarian Mathis. I mean, Mathis has shown signs. Carter's coming off of an injury. Wish him the best. I hope he's coming back healthy and ready to rock. Don't get me wrong. But kind of some unknowns, right? Kind of some unknowns. So we'll have to see. All right, that's kind of my breakdown of what I wanted to speak about today. I was very excited to do that. I'm going to get in some comments here, and we'll start the conversation. I just wanted to get through that best I can, and now we'll keep her moving. All right, Spidey Munns. What's up, man? Did something happen? No, just an article I read yesterday with the solidification from Brandon Beane that the style of defense to which we all figured Jim Leonard would be running is now out there publicly, and he actually gave his actual personnel and pre-snap lineups, not with names, but with positions. Nose tackle, 3 tech, defensive end, 5 guy, and then the 2 outside linebackers. So I felt that very interesting, and I wanted to speak about it and then get into the Deone Walker film and, of course, a little bit of TJ Sanders, and then my pick, DJ Reader. Yo, no bones about it. How are you, brother, man? Square Table Sports Mike, how are you, bro? Good luck, Cole friend. Hope you get to 1,000 mark. Hey, man, I appreciate you. Yeah, we're trying, right? We're trying. We're doing our best. We're not quite, I wouldn't even say we're anywhere close, but what everyone tells me is that once you get to about that 500 number, it becomes a lot easier and things start to roll, at least on YouTube. But I appreciate you, man. Thank you. If anybody's new and you weren't here in the beginning, please subscribe. Help us get to where we want to be. First goal is 500 so we can get one level of whatever it is with YouTube. And then the next one, what I really want is 1,000 subscribers. Come kick off week 1 of the Buffalo Bills. So really, really hoping for that. And I hope you guys enjoy the content and what we're going through. I don't know how many people I know, like Cover One does a lot of film. I don't think a lot of people out there do much film, though, for the Buffalo Bills. You know, the content creators. I'm not saying that's what I am, but I don't think there's a lot of people that do film. I enjoy film. I watch film. I like to verify what I think that I'm watching and what I'm seeing when I'm watching the games live, and then I go back and I rewatch, and then for previews for the next week and things of that nature. So if you like what you see, please hit the like button, subscribe it, share it to everybody, all your friends. No Bones says, listening to Joe Marino this morning. Oh, he said we could open approximately $22 million on top of what we currently have, restructuring Dawkins, Hoyt, and Palmer, all along with extensions for Torrance. Oh, wow. Okay, so we were at $22 million as a number yesterday after Dawkins. But I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, No Bones, and Joe Marino is fantastic, by the way. So I totally believe almost, everything he has to say. That $22 million, if you do Hoyt and Palmer and extend Torrance as well, must be also putting away about $10 million for your draft picks, right? Because yesterday we were about $22 million, but then you have to take away $10 million or so for the draft picks that we currently have. We can't forget about that, right? So we'll see. Dorian Williams. What about Dorian Williams? Where I think you're talking about the linebackers. I know I haven't gotten the comments in a little bit here. Sorry, my apologies. Now we're going through them, and TikTok, you're next, I promise you. We're going to get on all that. And if anybody wants to rewatch one of these clips, please let me know. We went through it for half hour or so, but I'll replay a clip if you need. And he said draft picks this year should cost between 4 and 5. Okay, so I think you're talking about Joe Marino again. That's odd to me because of the fact that if I go, what I see is that the picks that we have upcoming are going to cost about $10 million. But I saw someone else say 4 to 5. Maybe it was Kevin Masseri. I don't know how to pronounce his last name on X. But if I go over here to Spot Track, let me get rid of this first of all. Just so we're looking at the same thing. This is Buffalo Bills with Spot Track. If we add these up, these are the picks that we currently have. Obviously, this could change if they trade up, trade down, whatever. But if you add all these numbers up, that's roughly $10 million. So that's where my number came from. The 4 and 5, though, it's not the first time I'm hearing this. I'm curious as to what I'm missing and what the difference is. This is what Spot Track's saying you have to allot or allocate for the draft picks that the Bills currently have for this draft. Even though Deone's a big man, his weight, his body composition and shape isn't what you envision when you think of a zero-tech nose tackle. This is exactly my point. Square Table Mike, I'm not saying that he can't do it. I'm just saying I think there's a better option to fill the space and to put him in a better position, which is a little bit wider on the line. That's all. Robbie. Robbie, I love the story, Robbie. Coming here a few days ago, tell me I'm an idiot. Literally tell me I'm an idiot. We immediately get you to subscribe every single day hanging out. We were talking, Robbie, about what – did I just freeze here? I don't know what just happened. We're talking about Brandon Beane and the Buffalo Bills defense and what he just said yesterday in a published article about what the defense will look like as far as the positions go and the personnel on the field, particularly the defensive line. Stephen DeLeon. How are you? Oh, Steven, yes. How are you, man? Good day to you, sir. We need to get a mercenary, a good one for 1 year like Calais Campbell. I'm all in for that guy. That guy can still play even though he's going to be 40. Calais Campbell's name literally seems to be thrown around like every single year as someone that the Bills should sign for a 1 year deal. I mean, at some point you would think it would happen, right? At some point. I don't know when that's going to be or if it will ever be, but the name gets thrown out often, and I agree. 3-4. I think yeah. When I was asking you guys, what do you see? 5 on the line. Yes, you're absolutely right, Kurganelli. Him next to Walker would be hole stuffing pancake machines. Who's that? DJ Reader? 100%. Robbie says would love to get DJ Reader. I totally agree with you, man. Some mock drafts have us getting Cassius Howell with a 26th pick. I've heard the name. I haven't done much film or too much on him, but I've seen that as well as a potential. We'll see. I'm still, and I think I'm going to say this literally until the draft. I don't think my mind will change. I'm still saying sign DJ Reader, and then depending on if Dylan Thieneman is available. You take him at 26. If he's not, you trade back. And you pick up another couple, like two seconds, if you can get them. Ethan Davis, hey, Cold Front, hope you're having a good day. Having a great day, brother. Always a good day. If we're out here hanging, we're having a good day. You know what I mean? Talking Bills. A lot of what we thought was going to happen is happening. A lot of what we want to happen still remains to be seen. You know what I mean? Okay, let's get back here. Holy moly. Oh, boy. TikTok. Oh, shit. My apologies. Shannon, how are you? I'm going to try my best to go through all these, folks. Will they get rid of Coleman? Keon Coleman, no. Hines, I thought the Bills would correct the regular season issues in the playoffs. No, I'm not sure they see. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Nova says, hello, Bills, fellow Bills fans. Yo, what up, man? Nova. At one who did Broncos country, baby. Hey, man, big signing for you guys. Big signing. Jalen Waddle. Good for you. Good for you. But I'll defend Buffalo, he says. I'm with you. Always. If you're a fan, you're a fan, right? Broncos have been trashed for 10 years, Nova says, until recently. The schedule got you all that far. I think they're a pretty decent team. I think the Bills lost that game, though. I will say I do not think that the Denver Broncos beat the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills lost to the Denver Broncos, if that makes sense. Nothing against the Broncos. They're a good team, but okay, most of you guys are just talking to each other. I can't say the same about the Bills, sadly, and it hurts to say that. Bills are setting up. Rolls Racing says Bills are setting up for one more trade, I think, especially with them restructuring more. It's possible. And to No Bones' point in what Joe Marino said this morning, if they do restructure Hoyt and Palmer, which, again, Palmer to me, we'll see, I guess. I don't know if I really want to push him out another year or two, but if they get $22 million and they're taking care of their draft picks as far as cap goes, they still have to sign some people. Like, they still got a few holes. Linebackers, cornerback depth. They're probably happy with Anderson being that left guard, but, I would say left guard potentially. Maybe another edge mix guy. I don't know. Excuse me. Depends on the draft, yes, but I still think that they have some sign, or they're going to get another wide receiver as well. Talk this, a lot of people feel that there still should be kind of a complementary role wide receiver still taken or signed by the, Buffalo Bills. So it's possible, though. It's possible if they're creating that kind of money. It certainly is possible. Rolls Racing. Anthony, just seen your video about the D-line. I think it'll work great with the players on our team. I'm with you, bro. I mean, that's exactly that's how it's set up. That's how it's set up. So, Anthony, you were over here on the YT as well. Appreciate you coming over there, man. I at some point, TikTok will allow me to give me this bit of information I need to plug into this software that I use so that I can just show. You'll see on TikTok exactly what everybody else is seeing on YouTube and X and Instagram or whatever. So when TikTok does that, I don't know. They told me, like Red originally needed to get to like 1,000 followers. We did that, and then I still don't have the information I need. So I'm not too sure. Juwan Jennings coming soon. Stop the madness. Don't say that name if you're talking about the Buffalo Bills, please. Bluefish says, isn't Milano a free agent? Yes, he is. Exactly. What about Bernard? He's still on contract. Yes. Did I miss Bernard? I'm sorry. Terrell Bernard is, yes, absolutely. He just got extended last year. So if I missed his name, it's my apologies. Thank you, ZM. And Bernard might actually fit better in this type of scheme. Hochul? Night Owl says Hochul fits in at linebacker. Michael Hoyt. Yes, absolutely. Pigram says Debo coming to the Bills. I don't think so either. Shannon says I don't think so. I agree with Shannon. Night Owl says I like Hunter being at nose tackle. Are you talking about Lee Hunter from the draft? Night Owl from Texas Tech? I actually brought him up yesterday. I like him. If they're going to draft a nose tackle, I like him. 100%, dude. Let's see here. Jack, appreciate the follow, Jack. Thank you. Where's the 4-eye, buddy? James says, where's the 4-eye? Well, I mean, I don't know when you got in here, James, but we spoke about that defensive end being a 4/5, depending on the personnel that's out on the field from the offense. But the Bills literally just came out and said nose tackle, 3 tech, defensive end, and 2 outside linebackers. So, again, I don't know when you came in, James, but we hit it. Show them the 4-eye. Well, I did. I showed everybody everything. I wish – well, I don't know if – I can't show – again, I can't show TikTok, but we had the chart up there with the positions, according to the line up or their position on the line pre-snap. We did go through the all of the numbers. I appreciate what you're saying, though, James. Yeah, we showed them the 7. We talked about the 9. We talked about the wide edges and the 2-point guys. We talked about it all. Throw God's not evil twin. I don't know what you mean there. Live, laugh, love, and go Bills. I'm just lucky. Hell yes. Live, laugh, and love, baby. And never forget, go freaking Bills. Ladarius, what team do you think is going to get Tyreek Hill? I don't know. I mean, what's he going to sign for? Peanuts? I'm not sure. It's a good question. Go get Reader. What's good, Ike? I'm in, man. I'm telling them they haven't listened to me yet. Beane didn't pick up the phone. I tried to call Brandon, and he didn't pick up the phone. It was very odd. I don't know why. Reggie, thank you for following. Appreciate you. KY Kai says, what's your thoughts on Deone Walker? Oh, man, we just went through it all. I wanted to show some of the negatives of him at the 1 or 0 tech, which is not bad. It's not like he's horrible, but I just wanted to show the difference between him and what I feel is a better suited nose tackle like DJ Reader. He's much better if we were to break down some film. He's much better when he gets out a little bit wider than over the center. Smokey Mamba, Waddle. Yes, sir. All the way to Denver. I know you're talking about football, but UPL had the game of its life last night. Not sure who UPL. Who are you talking about? Honestly, I'm not even sure who you're talking about. Let me know who you're talking about, Brandon. Koala, thank you for following. I appreciate it. I think our secondary is low-key elite now, Brandon says. The secondary, if you can keep Trey White for another, 1-year minimum deal-ish, I still think you need one more probably corner depth, but with D. Alford and Gardner Johnson, and let's talk, everyone's all upset about Geno Stone, but he signed for like $1.2 million. I mean, the cap against him is nothing. All right, so is that bad a signing for depth? I mean, the man had 100-plus tackles. I know he misses a lot of tackles, but he had 100-plus tackles last year, and he is somewhat of a ball hawk as well. He's pretty good ball skills. I'm just calling it what it is. For that kind of money and a depth guy, I'm not mad about that sign at all. So, yes, Brandon, appreciate the follow. Thank you. Jay Meyer, listen, I'm a huge Bills fan, but our team's average age is too high and too injury prone. Well, the defense is actually getting younger. The defense is literally getting younger. Is Milano coming back? Freeman Miller says. I would say every moment that goes by that he does not sign somewhere else tells me that he is, I hate to say it. I don't want to say most likely, but I would say it's a very good chance that Milano stays a Buffalo Bill at this time. I could be way off of that. That's just more of a gut than anything else. My understanding is that he just got married like last year, too. So if they're like setting down some roots and shit, I don't know, man. I don't see a lot of people when they come to Buffalo, they hate leaving. They really do. Is he streaming elsewhere, Jay Meyer? Yes, YouTube. Jay Meyer. And if you go over there, it's same thing, Cold Front Buffalo, and make sure to subscribe over there. Appreciate it. Dexter, what's up, Dexter? I think the Bills get DJ Reader, then get Jordan Tyson in the first. Whoa. Wow. Okay. But for Tyson, wouldn't you have to trade up? I think you'd have to trade up. Bills defense should get better this year. 100%, Max. I don't see any reason why it won't, if I'm being quite frank with you. The new Legion of Boom. Bills blew it. Had it in the bag. Well, I can't disagree. They definitely should have won that Broncos game. If you guys would have won, I would have said the same. Broncos country. Yeah, I'm with you, Scoop. You got to stay true to your fandom, right? No matter what happens. All right, let me get over to YouTube real quick here. Jeffrey, Meyer. Yeah, wow, I just read your thing. I'm sorry. Back and forth. Listen, I don't think we have the linebacker talent to make 4-3 work, let alone the defensive tackle. This year will be rough. It's going to take 2-3 years to build this. Well, it's 3-4, and I think you mean 3-4. Linebackers are considered your Gregory Russos and Bradley Chubbs and Michael Hoyt. So just don't get confused by that. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying the reality is those guys are our linebackers, okay? So just something to note. That's all. Square Table says, I don't see a trade happening unless we're giving up 2027 assets or later round picks, but the 2027 draft class is apparently much stronger. Yes, those picks are at a premium. That is very, very true. The idea of 2027's draft abundance is certainly multiple times that of this year's. So, again, that just plays into, are we winning now or are we winning later on? And we've made a couple of one-year signings, so I don't know that they're going to try to trade for next year's draft. That's my gut. What about O-line? Do we draft one or get one in free agency? I know we're talking defense, but just wondering. Well, I think that that's always a possibility, and that they do believe in Alec Anderson to probably take over that guard role. They have Van Prank Granger. And what just happened yesterday, I don't know if he's officially anywhere else, but I will show you guys this because this is legit, like this is real, something to pay attention to. Come on now. Okay. You can see here Ryan Vandermark was given, he was on a restricted style free agency, and they put like a tender on him, I believe. Yeah, for $3.52 million, the Bills did, which means he has the ability to go out to the free agent market and see if someone's willing to sign him for more money than that. I believe the number that came back was, I got to look this up, we got to do it together, but slightly over $4 million for him. So the Bills now have an option. Do they either give him the extra, $700,000? I think it was 4.2, the extra $700,000 to match that, which I have the ability to do. Or is that $3.5 million that they're going to save towards the salary cap for this year? But that's a tackle depth, That's tackle depth right there. So if he goes, it's another position we need to pay attention to as far as depth is concerned. And I don't think that I don't think they've made their decision on that. And I don't even know, to be honest with you, how long they have to make that decision, whether to match this or let him walk and move on. No bones altogether with what we had from DJ and the restructuring I mentioned, along with the extensions for Dorian and Torrance. Yeah. We'd have around $32 million before signing draft. Thank you. Okay, so there's the $10 million that we were talking about, no bones, right? The 32 down to 22. I think it's around 10, but I'm not saying that, believe me, I'm not saying that Marino's wrong. I quite frankly, everybody, I hope you love me, right? And I hope you hang and I would trust him over me. I'm getting my stuff from, Spot Track, and he's a little bit more into it. But if I'm right and he was wrong, maybe you put a check in this box over here at Cold Front. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. I don't know the man at all, but I do watch and follow him and listen to him. He's very smart. He knows what he's doing. I'd love to, work with him, to be honest with you. So Beane definitely has some money to play with for additions. Yes, he's probably waiting until after the draft to see what holes. That's the point, no bones. I think we spoke about it yesterday briefly. It's either make your signings now and then draft accordingly, or draft best player available and then make your signings based on what you did or did not get in the draft? That's the question. Definitely no bones. Robbie says, I still think we need to address the wide receiver position. You're not the only one. I think an addition couldn't be a bad thing, depending on who it is. I would not run to the wide receiver room if there's a better player at a different position, I guess is my point. What do you guys feel about that? Do we go after wide receiver with the first pick? Maybe depending on what's available. But do we do that? I don't know. We have the speed for 3-4. That's what he wants. He's made that clear with the signings. He wants athletic speed. Athletic speed, downhill. Again, don't ask what's his name from Denver about going downhill, Sean Payton, because he'll torch your ass. Piece of crap that he is. But athletic, ball hawking, big plays. I am super excited to watch what happens in the first quarter of the opening game this year. Like I can't wait. I really can't freaking wait. How much of the roster is filled already, Spidey Munns? I think so. Only, 51 players count against the cap, I believe. So let's see. Yeah, all right. So technically, according to Spot Track at least, there are more than the 51. What the hell just happened? Oh, I went to a different page. Okay, so you see here now, broker. Yeah, you see some of these names that, like, even McCole Hardman is on the 51 active. It doesn't mean this is what it's going to end up. And here's your practice squad guys. These numbers are obviously wrong. I mean, I don't think that Devonshire cost you $750 for the entire year. I think that's a little crazy, but I think technically they have a full roster. But it's like, is Hardman going to be on the roster? Is Zion Lowe going to be on the roster? Terrell Shaver is going to be hurt damn near the whole year, so he's not going to be Andre Jones. I don't see him, if I'm being honest. I thought he played relatively poorly in the small sample size, but pretty damn poor, if you ask me, last year. He was a late sign. And then guys like Chase Lunt, he'll probably have to move up, to be quite honest with you, depending on the depth, like we were just talking about. I mean, Tillon Grable. I forgot about Tillon Grable. He's a good depth guy at tackle as well. Forgot about him, to be honest with you. Sorry. No disrespect, Mr. Grable. I still think we should. Robbie says, I still think we should re-sign Milano. I feel like they will. Robbie, yeah, 17 and change. I think it was 24.5 down to 6.8, 6.75 or something like that. Omar Cooper, right? Robbie says, I like Omar Jr. from Indiana. Yeah, I mean, but with your first pick, is that what you're saying? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they say. Or what they say. We'll see what they do. I don't know. Taylor says, I like what the Bills did with DJ. Have a second round for him while the Broncos have Fins in first. Yeah, I think the DJ Moore signing looks even better after what the Broncos paid for Waddle. Although I think the Broncos kind of win that because the picks are this year to Square Table Sports point is how much value is in this year. But the Dolphins also got a win there because they're rebuilding, so they need to pick. So maybe it's just a win-win for both. Max says, I still feel like they will trade Keon during the season. I don't know, man. Well, maybe during the season if something crazy happens again, possibly, I guess. I want Ed Oliver at the nose. He played it in college. I don't know, Dexter. I think he's better suited for something different for that 3 spot. I like what the Bills did with DJ DJ. Oh, we already talked about that. Sabres goalie. Okay, I'm not much of a hockey guy, Steven. I'm sorry. All I know is that I'm pumped up just because they're doing so well, and I hope they take it down. The Stanley Cup. Pats might have the best secondary in the league now. Why? Who did they sign? The only one I can remember them signing is Tunga at nose tackle. Again, another name that I was hoping we would go after. I'm from Buffalo, and the Bills are trash. Los Toast says, go Patriots. Patriots are scary. Hey, good for you, man. I'm glad that you are so adamant about your team. Thanks for hanging in here. Can you follow me, please? Los Toast, you got to have some, you got to be well-rounded. You're a Patriots fan, but you got to follow at least one Bills guy. Don't tell me you follow somebody else, because then it'll be two people. So you got to be well-rounded, Los Toast. You know what I'm saying? Bills boot camp. Appreciate that follow. Thank you so much. Definitely not. No. Do you think we'll sign a linebacker in the first round? What a question. I don't. My gut tells me no. We did not sign a linebacker in the first round. Boston says window is almost closed. I don't disagree. I mean, Allen has a few years, like 3 to 5 years, depending on what type of football he plays. But I'm not against it. The window is certainly closing. How about that? I don't know if it's almost closed, but it's closing. Definitely not. Do you think we just literally asked the same question. Sorry, maybe you typed it twice. Dan Lawrence, appreciate it, man. Buffalo is cooked. 500 team, Banana Clip says. Wow. I mean, I know their schedule is going to be nasty, but 500? Woo! The Beers and the Ball Show. I appreciate the follow. That sounds awesome. Beers and Ball Show. I gotta check it out, man. That's awesome. Chiefs will return. Patrick Mahomes hasn't even returned. He won't return for some time. But they did sign Justin Fields or trade for him. They even gave up a pick or two, I think. Hey, Ashton. No, maybe if he's still there in the third. Oh, Omar? Yeah, I think for a third round. Yeah, that's kind of where his stock is too, isn't it? Third roundish, maybe late second. Here's another guy we can talk about real quick. There's two. We did this briefly yesterday, and that's why I got a little bit more into what my thoughts were. This gentleman right here out of Alabama is a nose tackle, a one style tech, and he's a potential for sure. You can see his ratings here. Let's get into. Okay, excellent run defender who stacks blocks, holds ground, and controls his gaps consistently. Again, exactly what we were just talking about with DJ Reader. It's the same thing. Fires hands with good timing at the snap, often winning the initial strike again. Okay, wide base, low pad level, giving him natural leverage and advantage at the point of attack. Is this not exactly what we just highlighted? It's exactly what we just said. Deone Walker has a tough time with, and DJ Reader does phenomenally with. Pad level and leverage. Absorbs double teams effectively. Keeps linebackers clean behind him. Again, not the job of a nose tackle to make big-time plays. I mean, you love to see it, but that's not the main job. Main job is to clean everybody else up. Keep them clean behind him so they can fly around and make the plays. Take on double teams. Own the line of scrimmage. This is just exactly what I'm looking for, and I think everybody would in a nose tackle, but that's just my, expression of what a nose tackle should do. Shows functional hand variety. Okay. Physical transformation from 380 to 327 speaks to serious commitment and discipline. Wow. Weaknesses. Short arms. Okay. Limited pass rush. All right. Upside. Wins come through effort and push, not burst or bend. Okay. So he's not necessarily a twitchy guy. Below average lateral range limits him chasing plays outside his immediate gap. Okay, fair enough. Testing numbers across the board confirm a narrow athletic profile. All right, gotcha. Gets displaced when subtle double teams walk off the ball and power schemes. All right. And then weight management. Fits best as a one-tech nose tackle, an odd front, or a two-gapping interior defender. Okay. I mean, this is the type of guy that I would want. And this is – I'm going to show – let's go back to one other, I think, here. It's a higher – right here. Six 4 318, a little bit taller, not as heavy. So he says nose tackle, although they say sub position 3-tech. All right. Same type of deal, but this guy's a beast. 6'9" wingspan. Try getting into his chest to move him. 58 run stops over 2 seasons. Real pocket push as a ball rusher, driving guards into the quarterback's lap with raw power. Okay, wraps up finishes. Natural anchor against combo blocks. Perfect, just eating up space even when he's double teamed. This is the type of guy that I would enjoy in a Buffalo Bills uniform. I think it's something. Buffalo Bills just posted something on X. Let's see what it is. Just got the notification. DJ Moore, Bradley Chubb, CJ Gardner-Johnson, D. Alford. Oh, this is the president of business operations, as you can see here, Pete Jueli, I'm not sure. Look at those. I mean, this is the real deal. Guys are real. I mean, if you were to tell me, or if you were to be told prior to the offseason that we're going to have these 4 boys and really not lose anybody with the exception of Taron Johnson, what would you say? Right? That's the question. What would you say? I don't think there's any reason to be anything other than optimistic that the moves that have been made thus far are not bringing the team in a negative or a backward direction. They are definitely a better team on paper right now than they were 3 weeks ago. I mean, can we all at least agree with that? Right? I think we have to agree with that at least. They're definitely a better team than they were 3 weeks ago, without question. What else do you guys want to see? Do you want to see any of those clips again? I can give them to you. If not, who do you think we should do next? As far as film goes. Heyman, nice shot. Good morning. Go Bills, baby. William Soto agrees. The Beers and Ball Show says, never been a big fan of CJ Gardner-Johnson. Well, he's polarizing. He's kind of a jerk sometimes, which I'm actually ready to have an edge on defense. Hey, man, what was that? Heyman, appreciate the follow, and thank you for the heart, my brother. Thank you so much. Sent to heart. Appreciate you. Thank you. Really, really do. Really appreciate that. I think the Bills get Ted Hurst in the 5th. Very possible. Very possible. I also think that Bud Clark is still an option if they don't get Dylan Thielen. But I hear that Ted is literally a extremely strong possibility. Extremely strong possibility. And that'd be nice depth in 5th round. I mean, I don't want to say you take a flyer, but you kind of can then. Kind of can, right? Never been a big, yeah. So Gardner Johnson he's got an edge and he's got an attitude. And you know what though, with Jim Leonard's defense just being nasty and aggressive and making shit happen and going after the ball and turnovers and knocking people all over the place, like that kind of fits the mold. And I'm ready for a guy with a little edge. I'm ready. And I will not get angry. And someone's got to hold me accountable here, because I probably will when we're doing our live reaction during game day, if we're not at the game. And I'm sitting right here with my son, Cold Front Jr. Both Cold Front Jr. And CJ Gardner-Johnson gets like a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for just, I don't know, making a huge play and just taunting or something. I'm going to get pissed. But I want somebody in this chat during that time to chat in. Remember, on March 18th, you said you were ready and you wanted the aggressive nature and you wanted the unsportsmanlike if it meant playing crazy aggressive defense versus this soft patty cake shit that we've seen over the last few years. So someone call me out when I get mad. And it might have to be you, Beers and Ball. Might have to be you. Heyman Nice Shot says, longtime Bills fan. Awesome. Love it. Well, thank you for coming in and hanging and being part of the family there. Cold Front Mafia, baby. You think the Bills get another wide receiver in free agency? I at this point, I think no, if I'm being honest, because I do think that they will grab something in the draft, like a Ted Hurst potentially, if not a Concepcion or the Bostons of the world or Omar Coopers. Hey, appreciate you, Pete Rodriguez. Thank you so much, man. Thale, lifetime watcher and writing star. Give them a shout out, Thale. Thank you so much. A lot of people saying like long lifetime. I don't know what this YouTube shit's doing, but they're saying like long time followers and stuff. Thank you, everybody. Dexter says Sean McDermott was just looking for good people in the locker room, but I think Joe Brady is different. Yeah, he was, and it's great. And the culture was never a bad thing, I guess. But I guess my point is, let's freaking start taking some heads off, please. I want to win a Super Bowl. Don't we all want to win a Super Bowl? He's not here. I'm not saying I'm agreeing or disagreeing. I'm just saying that we didn't get to a Super Bowl. I didn't win one. I'm willing to try it. Play with an edge. Be edgy. Be a bit of a dick. Okay? If it means winning some more football games in a Super Bowl, I am so in, boys and girls. I am so in. Really. Spidey Men's. I do think Hardman will be on the team unless he gets injured during the offseason. Yeah, it doesn't cost much money. He is a threat. He's kind of a gadget dude. Somebody gets hurt, he can fill in. I'm with you. Or do they still use him for punt returns? I don't know, because was it his second punt return on the Bills? He fumbled against Tampa Bay, I believe. But again, for what he's worth, yeah, why not? Why not? Ethan Davis, 285 subscribers. All new people, please subscribe. Cold Front does a great job with his community and puts out great content. Well, I appreciate you, Ethan. Thank you. And yes, please, we need to get going. Tell all your friends. Seriously, share it with everybody. Tell them to come over. I know I'm not Joe Marino. I know I'm not Cover One, and I'm not Dan Mitchell. Like, listen, these guys are doing their thing. You know what I mean? I'm just another guy. But it's free to subscribe and stay in there. So I appreciate you. Please subscribe. Please, if you haven't, I beg it. Momentum is building. We're getting there, but it's going to take a little time. So we're going to continue to do what we're doing. How about Solomon Thomas and free agency? Is too expensive? I don't think anyone at this point is all that expensive. However, too expensive for the Bills is different than too expensive, period. So let's see. I don't know what he's pegged at as far as market value, if you know what I'm saying. Oh no, he's under contract. I think he was traded or something, because he's a Tennessee Titan. Yeah, he had a 2-year deal with the Cowboys, and now he's a Titan. So he's not a free agent, actually. Spidey says, I do think whatever move we make next will help paint a better picture of what we'll do in the draft. 100%. But, Spidey, I think there's a very legitimate chance that there is no move before the draft, which in this case is kind of a move. No move could be a move. And then if that's the case, I think they take the best player possible in the draft. And they sign additionals according to what roles they filled with the draft. Does that make sense? I think no move at this point is a move. And at least we didn't go through an entire offseason and free agency period with no move, right? And no trade and none of this. So again, overall, what would you guys grade? Do me a favor and put it and smash it into the comments, please. Everybody that's in here, we got like 50 people or so between everything. What is your grade that you give the Buffalo Bills offseason right now? What is Brandon Beane's grade thus far? On a scale of 1 to 10. Or if you want to do letters, I guess do those. Dexter says, if we wanted people to talk shit, then we would have gotten Reek Woolen. I don't know. He's pretty good. I wouldn't have really minded it, to be honest with you. I'm just glad the Bills are getting out of this nickel defense that McDermott was running, Pete Rodriguez says. I'm totally agree. I'm ready for something new. I'm ready for the aggressiveness. I'm ready for what he says, Jim Leonard, is offenses will have to pay attention to us and scheme against us, and they will have to react to us, not the other way around. We got a couple rolling in here, but everybody give me a grade, either 1 to 10 or a letter grade, as far as how you think the Buffalo Bills have fared thus far in the offseason with the trade and the signings, a couple of trades. What is the grade that we give the Buffalo Bills so far? Oh, Eric Pardo. Sorry, I missed you. Is it safe to say McDermott wasn't a bad coach, but he couldn't light a fire under their butts? Totally safe to say, in my opinion. I don't think he was a bad coach. I think he was a very good coach. The edge is just what wasn't potentially there. Freeman Miller says, I saw the Vikings are working on Denmark. This is true. We just talked about it. Not just, but a few minutes ago. Vandermark. And they offered him, I believe, $700,000 more than our tender, which was 3.5. So I think it was around 4.2. I don't think the Bills have answered that yet. They do have the ability to match and keep him. However, I don't think that decision has yet been made. All right, Dexter, 8.5. P. Rodriguez says, I keep reading the Bills are interested in Deebo Samuel. Well, I know. I hear everyone's interested, and even Cam Jordan, after what he said about Josh Allen not being able to win games and shit like that. You think, why in the world would he come to the Bills? Why would the Bills sign that guy who's on ESPN saying Josh Allen can't win nothing? But yet said Lamar Jackson is far superior or something like that. Like, what? Shut the hell. He ain't got. So my point is, just because you hear it doesn't mean it's necessarily true, although I'm also not saying that it's untrue. I just don't think that there's a shot that Deebo is coming to the Bills. Eric Pardo says 7, but I see that going up after the draft. Okay, 7. Thale says 8 to be nice to have a psycho on just 8, but it would just be nice to have a psycho on defense. Yeah, I kind of think Gardner Johnson is a little bit of a psycho, if I'm being honest. But I wouldn't mind one more freakoid either. Spidey Munn's 8.6. Okay, that's high. That's good. Robbie Ackroyd says a 9er, and Ethan gives the Buffalo Bills an 8 thus far in the offseason. All right, so pretty high grades. Pretty high grades. After all the injuries this team has endured over the years, pay for the depth. We need good 100% because it seems like every year we pull up into the playoffs and we just don't have some key piece, and the replacement or the backup just gets burned. But it always seems to be in the secondary, doesn't it? Just saying. I mean, look what happened to Elam a couple years ago. Oh, my word. And then what happened this year with Darnell Savage and Mr. Jackson. Oh, baby. Whew. I'm with you. M. Legend. Defense is going to tank with Brady in control. Okay. I don't agree. because he's not in control. Jim Leonard is. Now, he has ultimate say, but I think he's absolutely going to let Jim Leonard do his thing, bro. 100%. But, M. Legend, I appreciate you hanging with us as often as you do. Thank you so much. Not Pinks, welcome. Jonathan, how you doing? Spin in the house. Spin's in the house. Spin, I really wish you were here earlier, my brother. I really do. You got to go back and watch this thing when we're done. You really do. And you got to get all your friends. Would you get all your friends to subscribe? I know you got a ton of friends. I don't. Go get a ton of friends and have people subscribe here so we can start making some money over here. You know what I mean? Come on. But really good beginning of the show, in my opinion. The first 20, 30 minutes, though, was just scheme, defensive line scheme, who's playing where, some film on Deone Walker, some talking about TJ Sanders, and then some film on DJ Reader. I enjoyed the beginning. I had a lot of fun. I was excited for this one. Do the Bills match the Vikings offer Vandermark? That's the question of the day. And with the cap that we have, I don't think so, because I think that they're just going to put the trust in Grable. Ethan says, what would you give them on a scale of 1 to 10? Right now, I'm somewhere. I'm going to do a Dave Portnoy. I'm not going to give a round number. You know, one bite, everybody knows the rules type shit. It's not over. So if it were over, I'd be an 8-2. It's not over, so we don't know exactly where we're going to end up. And if they do a couple of smaller things, I'm going to be like an 8-7. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to determine, but I'm going to be an 8-7 if we get a couple of things here. Spidey Munn says, something that does concern me about the defense is how we were able to make adjustments in the second half. Very, very great point. I think McDermott had a lot to do with it. Hopefully our defense can hold. I totally agree with you. I will say this, though, me being an optimist. I don't think that there's as glaring of adjustments that will need to be made at halftime based on Jim Leonard's overall culture, if you will, and mindset and scheme and everything that he represents. So although you're absolutely right, you know, you got to give it to him. I think they're the best second half defense like in the NFL, to be honest with you. But the fact is there were major adjustments that had to happen and often at halftime. So although I totally agree with you, I just hope, I guess, that the adjustments that are need to be made, you know, in the second half are not there this year. Does that make sense? And what do you feel about that, Spidey Munns? Like, do we trust the fact that Jim Leonard will not allow us to get off to such shitty starts to have to make these type of adjustments? That's kind of where my mind is. The Mad Chatter, nice. What's up? Front, what up, baby? Big day. Go back and watch if you know, when we're done here. I thought it was awesome. First 30 minutes. Really got into some nuts and bolts of how this defense will look. Spin says, remember, 3.5 is already accounted to it. Right. And they only, 3.5 to 4.2. Although, if that tendered offer was beat and he walks, also keep in mind that the Bills then have $3.5 million off of their books. So that's going to be the question. Although it does, right. That's exactly. So that's kind of where I'm at and where that, but this Tylen Grable, I think that's the question. Do they trust him to be kind of that guy? And how badly do they want 3.5? I don't think the 700 matters. I think if they want him around the 700, they give it to him. No question. Does $3.5 million warrant keeping him versus adding to the pool? That's the main question I think that Beane and everybody has to make or answer to themselves. Spidey says, I don't know if we'll be able to start off hot, but what do I know? I just don't think that, like, I'm trying to remember a game. Now, there were some games that we obviously just blew up some teams, like I think the Panthers, the Steelers. But which game did we have 1 or 2 turnovers and like 4 3-and-outs and give up 3 points in the first half defensively. And we're up 20-3 at halftime. It's almost as if it was, let's see what the offense is doing. Let's see if they're going to come out and beat the shit out of us, or we're going to get away with just playing keep away. And did we really even give ourselves the opportunity to force mistakes from the other team and just come out and just destroy a football team? I don't, trying to remember these games, and even the exciting games that we ended up winning by decent margins, like I felt like we really had to play well into the second half or fourth quarter. I could be wrong, but this is just off the top of my head. I just don't remember many games. That's kind of concerning to me, and that's why I want to see what he's going to do. And I'm excited to see what he's going to do as well. That's because we had Dalton in. Are you talking about the Panthers? I agreed, but I actually thought he was going to give you a better chance than oh my word. I'm blanking on his name. You know what I'm talking about. Ben Flores, do you think by all will draft a wide receiver? I do think that they will end up drafting wide receiver. I do. Leonard is going to be such a difference maker for that defense. He's shown he's a great coach. Agreed. And I think that's what we needed. John, thank you, brother. Thank you for following. Farnsworth Duffy, Panthers run uploading. You guys have made some serious moves between oh my God, your edge and your linebacker there. Big time players. Good for you. Good for you. We'll see. Ben Flores, good morning. You covered Buffalo. Yeah, that's what we're doing, man. We're covering, the Bills. I think Javon Solomon will really do good this year, like his college 11 sack year. Yeah, he could, flourish. He could have his time in the sun. Cam also said he would need extra money to play for a cold weather team. Give me a break. Yeah, get out of here. Get out of here. Honestly, I don't care. Stay away. Every team needs to adjust for the longer schedule, rest starters if they can at the end of the season. There's even talks about 18 games. And they're going to Australia this year, right? Aren't they? It's insane. Cody Vacic, how are you? From a Bears fan, how do you feel about DJ Moore? Love him, Cody. I'm really very happy about the signing, and I think he fits the mold of the Buffalo Bills and Joe Brady tremendously well, if I'm being real. From a Bears, Alex says, are you a Sabres fan too? I am. I'm a Sabres fan. I'm not all that into hockey, though, so I can't speak much on it, unfortunately. If you had questions or something, I really wouldn't know what to give to you. Somebody made a reference to their goalie earlier today, and I was like, who are you talking about? So I enjoy watching hockey. I just don't know much about it. Brady be creative with the offense now that he has new players. Last year it was predictable. I think we're going to see some signs of Joe Brady that we have not seen before, if I'm being real. Yes, and part of that is going to be opening up the offense. And with the weapons, of course. But I think the usage that he'll get out of these guys is going to be somewhat different. I don't want to say completely different, but somewhat different, because I do think that Sean McDermott had his thumb on the, I don't want to say ability, but what Joe Brady was allowed to do. I really do believe this. And I think because of that, Joe Brady's actually going to open some things up. Yes. Who do you think y'all will take? Who do you think y'all will take? What, in the draft? Is that what you mean, Ben? Depends on what happens here in offseason or in free agency, or if there's another trade. But I think they're going to have to draft a linebacker at some point. I think they're going to potentially draft another edge guy, a wide receiver. And if it's up to me, if he's available, and they need to draft Dylan Thieneman, who's a safety. And they might draft another offensive lineman depth. And, depending if they don't get one, they need to draft a nose tackle. Zarval Reese next, Micah Parsons. Oh, boy. I think that's really, really difficult to put that kind of pressure or comparison onto someone that hasn't played a single second in the NFL. So I will say no until a little bit more gets proven because Micah Parsons is just so good. Spin asks, do you think we drive a wide receiver before day 3 of the draft? Well, not if we don't trade back. How's that sound? So if we only have the first round pick of pick 26, then I don't think that they take a wide receiver then. Then we have what? A third round pick, which is number 91, I believe, which I can see is possible because that's on day 2, right? Day 1, and then day 2 and 3 or rounds 2 and 3 are on day 2. Yeah, and then 4 through 7, I think, are on day 3. So no, unless they trade back. If they end up getting like 2 seconds and a third, then I think one of them will be a wide receiver. If they only have a first and then 91st, no, I don't think so. But let me rephrase that too. I don't think they should. If that's all that they have. What do you think, Spin? The Trek Reviewer. Hi. How are you, bro? Good to see you, the Trek Reviewer. Thank you for hanging with us today. How are you? How is everything? Stuart Singh. What you think we should re-sign Brandon Cooks? Yes, 1 year, $3 million. Brandon Cooks. Absolutely. Bring him back. Jay Beasy. What's up, Jay Beasy? How are you, brother? Aaron Judge is the Micah Parsons of baseball. In what regard? In what regard? I know there's been a lot of shit talk about Aaron Judge. Oh, and comparisons with Josh Allen and shit. Like, listen, I know baseball. I promise. And it's very hard to compare the two sports and players, but I really don't. I'm not sure what you mean by Micah Parsons. Trek Reviewer, I could see both a trade back and a trade of Keon Coleman. I could see the trade back 100%. I do not see Keon Coleman being traded. Listen, when your head coach, literally the moment that he's promoted and hired as head coach, comes out publicly and says that this guy who's been through the public turmoil that he's been through over the past 4 months, meaning Keon Coleman, he comes out and he says, the best thing to ever happen to Keon Coleman was me becoming the head coach. Do you know how much respect you can lose from everyone else in the locker room when you make that statement and then trade his ass away before the season starts? Like, what? How can they trust anything at that moment in time if that's what he would do? And I'd be the first one to say, dude, that's a shit move, man. Not only just because I like Keon Coleman, I think he can be very good, but just on its face, coming out saying that's just a stone cold lie to and about your player. Why would anyone else trust him? I wouldn't. I wouldn't at all. So I don't think that happens. And if it does, I got some question marks as far as his leadership goes, truthfully. All right, Spin says, I think they draft a wide receiver with our last pick of the draft. Yeah. I see it 3 through 7, depending on what else they've been able to pick up. But I don't think it's early, unless something really stupid happens. They don't show out when it matters. Well, Micah Parsons is, he's only a defensive end. Aaron Judge had a phenomenal postseason this past year. And, he had a pretty good postseason. So he's kind of put some of those rumors to bed. Now, the WBC, especially last night, and then even against, I think did he have an RBI or just a base hit against Dominican. I think it was just a base hit against Dominican Republic, but he certainly had a bad few games towards the end of the WBC, and I'm with you. And then prior to even last year, 2 years ago, his postseasons were hideous. So I totally agree with that. I really would love to see him step his shit up in big situations for sure. But the way that where baseball has gone in the past few years, is quite upsetting to someone like me. And I know I'm getting to be like old now. I'm 39. And when I used to play ball at high level, it just was different. Like situational hitting in Major League Baseball has become a non-fucking thing. And, you have second and third or third and less than 2 outs. And we cannot even put the ball midway through the outfield for a sac freaking fly. We strike out with runners on third base in less than 2 outs, more than I have ever seen. And it's ridiculous. Like, go win a baseball game. I don't give a shit if you're hitting home runs or not. Just go win a baseball game. And the whole sport has gone away from that. And it's quite honestly, for me, if you can't tell, it's upsetting. What if the best thing for Coleman is trading him away? Well, then for him, I'd like to see it happen. You think that's what Joe Brady meant by that? Is that what you mean? They'll get rid of Keeman if he wants. Yeah, sure. If he wants out, absolutely, because they don't want to go through that whole rigmarole like they did last year, showing up late, not missing meetings, all this other BS. No doubt. They're not going to put up with that, I'm sure. But I don't know if he wants out. I don't know. I just think that Joe Brady was handcuffed a bit by Sean McDermott. And with the signing of DJ Moore, I mean, again, we need to understand what DJ Moore actually can do and has done. Like, that man is on the outside. He's in the slot. He's a tight slot just off the end, in the edge. He's out of the backfield, screens behind the line of scrimmage, short routes, intermediate routes, still a deep threat. Like, that guy literally does all, and that will do nothing but help out every other receiver on the Buffalo Bills. Every one of them. That's why I love the signing so much. We've talked about that. What if it is a post-draft trade of Keon that brings in a certain D-edge from Las Vegas? And no, I'm not talking about Elvis or Frank Sinatra. I definitely do not think that the Raiders are going to trade with the Bills for Max Crosby and Keon Coleman. But it would have to be a 27 and a 28 at that point, first round draft pick. I don't know. I think that's stretching, sir. But good, I guess. What do I know? But great players. Oh, but great players, he's saying. Yeah. They will during the draft, no doubt, says. I'm sorry. Well, they'll do what during the draft? Drew says Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson have a lot in common. Great regular season talents, playoff no-show. Not true at all, Drew. Josh Allen is potentially the best playoff quarterback of all time, based on numbers. That goes back to the question of, is a win a quarterback stat? To me, the answer is no. No doubt. It was the comment the owner made, basically pointing fingers at Coleman being drafted by McDermott and staff, not Brandon Beane. JB says last season was Allen's best chance to get to the Super Bowl. Next season will be very difficult. I agree with that. I agree that the schedule is no joke for next year, and that a lot of these teams have gotten better for sure. The Patriots will have another year under their belts. Young quarterback, good team, great coach. The Broncos just got much, much better, and I think the AFC is going to be pretty nasty. DEC at 09, NASCAR fan. No, sir. Never have been. Have absolutely no idea what the deal is. Although I do live very, very close to Watkins Glen International. Perilous. How are you? If only stats could get a player a ring. Well, yeah, but, does that mean that Brad Johnson is a better quarterback than Josh Allen? I mean, let's be real. He has no stats. The Truck Reviewer, I wonder how much of Beane saying we did not need a wide receiver last year was McDermott telling him we did not need. Oh, I think that it's totally apparent that Sean McDermott had more say than what we as fans were led on to believe in many, many facets. That has become very apparent. What do you feel? Oh, Naya Guy says, why people always want to throw shade at Keon? Let's we forget it took Eric Moulds 3 seasons to break. Oh, it took Eric Moulds 3 seasons to break out. Give the kid a chance to shine. I'm so with you. But everybody here that's been following us for any period of time knows that I am as big a Keon Coleman advocate as you will find. So you might take that from context or think that I'm being homer biased. But I absolutely think that McDermott had more say in that organization than we think or that we thought. It is becoming glaring. Drew says best QBs right now is Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. At this very moment, I would disagree. I think Josh Allen is up there, but Patty Mahomes had a pretty rough year. Joe Burrow had like a no year. He was hurt. You mean best quarterbacks right now or best all time that are currently playing? I guess that's how I would answer that comment. JB says, do you speak on basketball and or soccer? Definitely not soccer. I did play college basketball for 1 season, so I know a little bit about basketball. I don't enjoy the NBA like I used to, but we still are Knicks fans here in this household. My sons play basketball. I coach their basketball. Baseball, I'm contemplating starting a baseball little channel here too, and I don't know if I should do it or not. I don't know if anybody in here is baseball people as well. I kind of asked the other day if we should do some WBC stuff. One person asked, like, hey, where I thought you were going to do it, but no one really answered. So I definitely know about baseball. I can speak on baseball. That said, sorry, dropped you. That said, certainly know literally nothing about the game of soccer. I am zero help to you when it comes to soccer. No matter schedule, just got to be better than the Jets, Dolphins, Pats. Well, yes, and in reality, just if you can win your division, then anything happens. That's the truth. D says, gotcha. Could say the same about being a Bills fan. Too much pain. It's painful, certainly. All time right now. Sorry, no, that's okay. Oh, all time right now? Well, you got to forget. I mean, Aaron Rodgers. You have to put Aaron Rodgers over Joe Burrow. And a lot of people will say Joe Burrow is better than Josh Allen because he made it to a Super Bowl. I don't buy that. That's not how I grade quarterbacks, but it's just a personal opinion, right? Best QB playing is Allen, and it's not close. Put Stafford on the Bills, and they may not make the playoffs. Okay, so there's the argument that could be made. Does Josh Allen win the Super Bowl if he's the quarterback of the Seahawks? My answer is a fuck yes. I mean, it can't be anything other than that. Do the Seahawks win the Super Bowl if Joe Burrow was the quarterback? Yes. This is my point. Does Sam Darnold come to Buffalo and do what Josh Allen has done the last 6 years? Not even close. This is my point. I used Brad Johnson in the past, but I'm just going to use Sam Darnold. Great couple of years, no doubt. But is he that guy? No. How often do you see a Super Bowl be won and the quarterback doesn't get the MVP? Put down on the Rams with those receivers. Good Lord, the numbers. Oh, 100%. Hot take, Dodgers going for 3 in a row. Not hot at all, JBZ. Probably going to happen. But I don't think it's that hot, to be honest with you. I wonder how much Brand Beane said. Oh, I'm sorry. We already said that. Temperament-wise, Gardner Johnson reminds me of Darryl Talley. Sure. I mean, Talley's a little older, and quite frankly, I don't know much because I didn't get to really watch him play. Just being honest here. But my understanding is that he was just rough around the edges, and he was a son of a gun. And I love that about Gardner Johnson, and I think it's going to work. Here's another hot take by Jay Beasy. Hot take: Texas Rangers will meet the Dodgers in the World Series. Okay. A lot of good teams in that AF or that AL though. But I see that being a hell of a lot hotter than the Dodgers winning the World Series. We can talk though. Maybe I should do the baseball channel. I don't want to overwhelm people here. We're talking football. Steven DeLeon. I'm just glad I got to hear after a loss they wanted it more when McDermott would say that it would piss me off. I'm just glad I got to hear after a loss they wanted it more when McDermott would say that it would piss me off. I can't stand the fact that another team would ever want it more. And that's my mentality. That's how I was as an athlete and how I am in business and what I'm doing now. JBZ, thank you so much for following. I've always been the get out of my way. I'm running through a brick wall. And if you'd like to follow me, let's do it together. And if not, I'm running you over. Great teammate. I now, lead, and I have about 40 people that have worked under me for the past 8 years with next to zero, under 2% turnover over the 8 years. So leadership to me is very important, and how you go about things is extremely important, especially in athletics. And I'm much rather the guy that says, I hate to lose than I enjoy winning. And that goes to they wanted it more. Like, what you're saying there. If I ever hear that, I just want to throw up in my mouth immediately. Right away. It's insane. You can't do that. Cannot friggin' do that. Oh, M Legend says Brad Johnson was a winner. So was Mark Ripien. Josh Allen is another Phillip Rivers or Warren Moon. Please. So is Sam Darnold a winner? This is football now. You cannot. Oh, I want you to answer that for me, M Legend. M Legend says Brad Johnson was a winner, saying that Josh Allen is not. And I wonder what all of our people here feel about that. I think you know where I'll go with this, but Darnold isn't a Brad Johnson level. Darnold? What? Oh, come on, man. It's the same thing. Big boy. What's up, big boy? I see you in there, baby. Thoughts on Tyreek Hill possibly going to the Bills? I don't think it'll happen. It would be kind of funny, though, wouldn't it? I think it'd be pretty funny. Brad Johnson had a winning record for 7 straight seasons. Okay. All right, so is Josh Allen. I mean, come on, dude. Let's look here. I'm trying to pull up some Brad Johnson stuff. Let's talk about it. I think it's a good pivot here. Brad Johnson was. Let's look at this together, shall we? Here's Brad Johnson. This is for M Legend. Brad Johnson was 72-53, an average of 10-7. Washington, Dallas, Tampa, Minnesota. 61% completion rating, which is good. Let's see here. He averaged 2,700 yards throwing per season. 2,700 yards. He averaged 16 touchdowns and 12 interceptions per year. Okay. M Legend, like, what are we doing? Okay. I don't even know why I'm talking about this. M Legend, I love you and I appreciate you hanging with us. But Brad Johnson, what? Literally, these are his numbers. I can't make them up. I literally can't make them up. Average 10-7, 61.7% completion ratio. Slightly under 2,800 yards a season with 16 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. And I'm not even going to go into, obviously, we don't need to talk about this, do we? But rushing statistics, because that'll just be a joke. And here's his playoffs. In 5 years, he was 4-3 with a 56% completion ratio, 7 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions in his playoff career. So, M Legend, stop it. Stop the madness. He says, you're going to eliminate how many Super Bowl winning quarterbacks then to defend Allen? I'm not defending Allen. I'm saying that football is not a quarterback-only sport. And if you can throw 56% completion percentage, 7 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions and call yourself a winner, then God bless you. Because that's what you just did about Brad Johnson in his playoff career. So stop it. Stop the madness. Appreciate you. I really do. That's comical to even say this. I don't think you had the statistics up. You don't have real life. It's very easy to look at this. All right. Let's get back to Trek Reviewer. I wonder how many Super Bowls the Bills would have won if the Bills had these players with Bruce and Talley, Charles Haley, John Randall, Ted Washington, Reggie White. Maybe they stick with a 3-4 with Bruce and Haley as the outside linebackers. I mean, sure. Stephen De Leon says, I just really hated him sitting there with no expression on the sideline, no passion, just start staring into the oblivion. Yeah, well, and I kind of this past season, I was getting on Josh Allen too for sitting on the corner of the bench like he does when shit is just going sideways and haywire. I mean, how about you throw a helmet? Don't hurt anybody. But how about you start screaming and yelling? Tom Brady, you want to talk about Tom Brady, M Legend? Best quarterback of all time. Both winning, numbers, leadership, everything, intangibles, tangibles, all of it. Tom Brady used to scream his freaking head off when people weren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. You're literally Josh Allen. You are Western New York. No one's going to get mad at you. We don't have to be so nice, which is why I kind of forget who said it earlier, why I'm happy about the Gardner Johnson signing. Truck Reviewer said Josh Allen is way more athletic than – oh, yeah, athleticism, forget about it. It's not even close. Josh Allen is done, Robbie says. I'm sorry, but what buffoon statement. Get real, buddy. I'm with you. No kidding. Brad Johnson Robbie says Brad Johnson was good, but no way compares to Josh Allen. There's no cold front. You have some haters today. I know. It's okay. Haters are great. We love them all. We invite everybody. We've already said this. Robbie. You know what I'm saying, Robbie? Robbie, you're the one, baby. You are the example. We're going to get M Legend to follow us over here on TikTok, and we're going to be friends. Regardless, we're going to be friends eventually because he knows what he's doing, and it's all good. I'm happy. I'm happy about it. I'm down with it. All freaking good, man. But there's just simply no way that Brad Johnson and Josh Allen are anywhere close to being at the same level of a quarterback. Spuddy Mudd says Nick Foles must be better than Josh Allen. Exactly. Nick Foles is an absolute winner. Stud Nick Foles. If football was a quarterback-only league, Dan Marino would have owned the NFL back in the day, the 80s, 90s. If football, I'm going to second Trek Reviewer. If football was a quarterback-only and wins were, or if Super Bowls and everything else were quarterback-only, then Dan Marino would have won 10. 10 of them. Spidey, for real? No. He was being sarcastic, actually, Robbie. Spidey's comment was sarcasm, saying that Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. So clearly, according to this gentleman, he would have been, he's better than Josh Allen. I need to shut. No, you don't need to shut up at all, man. I'm just saying you would know. You would know. Haters, we treat everybody the same. Everybody we treat the same, and we try to get along with everybody. We invite all of it, baby. Granted, I would have much rather had Brad Johnson over Rob Johnson. Sure. That was one of the worst ever. Was it not? I actually just saw something about him yesterday. No, you do not, sir. You do not shut up ever, Robbie. We love you coming in here and saying what you want to say. LJ says New York can send 3 number. Well, I got to go back and see what he started off saying. M Legend has not said anything for a few minutes here, so we'll see how he responds. Jay Beasley, you think Kirk Cousins will go to the Raiders? What is a backup for Mendoza? God, no. No, didn't he land somewhere? Didn't Kirk Cousins land somewhere? TikToker. Oh, TikToker. Appreciate you coming in. I guess you're in here. Appreciate it. It says this thing is telling me to say thanks and invite them to follow. TikToker, you're not or TikToker, you're not a follower? I thought you were. Appreciate it, though. I'm thinking the Bills team should trade the Josh to New York. LJ, stop that, man. It's to who? The Jets or the Giants? M Legend, you have no idea what you're talking about, New York Yankees says. Hey, I'm all into razzing people and talking crap and all this stuff. Just let's make sure that we're not being disrespectful. I know you did, Yankees. You haven't at all. But actually, New York Yankees, you're the guy or lady that I should ask. Should I start a baseball channel as well? Would you be interested in talking baseball? Big Yankees fan. And I have a big baseball background as well. New York can send 3 number 1s back to near Canada. No. That would be crazy. I'm taking Randall Cunningham over Josh Allen if you don't have championship standards, M Legend says. About a month or so ago, we did a video completely on the best quarterbacks of all time. And we looked at, I forget who it was. I think it was Bleacher Report. Was anybody in here with me when I was doing that? Does anyone remember that? We pulled that report up, and it was insane. It was absolutely insane. LJ, appreciate the follow, man. Oh, Jets you're talking about. Okay. Zach the GOAT, baby. Go Bills. Zach the GOAT. Appreciate you, Zach the GOAT. And M Legend, I don't know, brother. Randall, let's pull him up. Randall Cunningham. I know this is just statistics, and again, M Legend, I don't think you've been here for long. That's quite all right. I do not believe only solely in statistics. However, at first glance, we're going to pull this up. So, there's one. Where's the other one? Here, I'm going to go to, I mean, we're obviously out on the Brad Johnson thing. Everybody that with a half of a brain here understands that that is not a comparison. Okay. There is Josh Allen's career numbers. 64% completion ratio, 30,100 yards, 220 touchdowns, 94 picks. Randall Cunningham. Randall Cobb. This is just so stupid. I mean, honestly, this is so stupid. Let's just see the game difference. All right, so Randall Cunningham, M Legend. Let's talk about this and everyone over on YouTube. Now we're comparing Randall Cunningham to Josh Allen because M Legend just can't give this up. For some reason, he now says Randall Cunningham's a better quarterback than Josh Allen if we're talking about championships and Super Bowls not having anything to do with the quarterback position. Cunningham in 161 games, 57% completion percentage, 29,979 yards, so slightly under Josh Allen's yardage through the air, by the way. 207 touchdowns total, 134 picks. So Josh Allen has played in 33 less games. He has 100 more passing yards already, a 9, I believe. Oh, shoot. Did I get out of? Damn, I literally launched Randall Cunningham's numbers. Give me a second. I'll pull them right back up. Okay, so, yeah, about 150 less yard or more yards than Randall Cunningham in 33 less games. 13 more touchdowns already and 40 less interceptions. I mean, and he's played in 30 less games. So he'd have to throw an interception, 1.5 interceptions per game to be on the same pace as turnover interceptions. He has already thrown for 13 more touchdowns and 150 more yards, and he's played 30-something less games. I mean, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind, M. Legend. Seriously, it doesn't make any sense, guy. And I don't even know if you want to get into, again, nobody ever wants to get into running and rushing statistics with Josh Allen. And Randall Cobb is close. Randall Cobb had 35 rushing touchdowns in his career. In 13 less games thus far, Josh Allen, give me a moment, let me get down there to running, has 79. Josh Allen has 4,700 yards on the ground in 8 years. Randall Cobb had 4,900 yards in 16 years. So what say you, Legends? Okay. All right. So we're done with this argument, M. Legend, although I appreciate the time that you've spent here, my friend. Now his question, after we went through Randall Cunningham, is how many interceptions in Allen's last game? Get out of here, brother. Love you. Done talking about that with you because you obviously have no idea and you're just off in your own little world, which is great. I wish I was sometimes too. Josh Allen's good, but take the QB who sets up your defense. Oh, my God. LJ, thank you for the follow. I think I said it all right. Zach to go. 3 number ones and a 3. Not going to happen. AJ says, love Josh Allen, but go Broncos. Hey, man, that's how you hate, right? There we go, baby. He's the best QB. I absolutely agree. Okay, Yankees, maybe we'll do that, bro. You know, time to party, baby. Time to party. Ethan says Dallas going to the Super Bowl. Oh, wow. Okay. Zach the Goat says in the total touchdowns is nuts for Josh. Exactly. Not even close. Not even. It's nowhere even close. It's so stupid. It really is. It's so stupid. Are you Aiden's dad? Jacob D says. Who is Aiden? No, I'm not. I don't know who Aiden is. Zach the Goat insisted. Yeah, exactly. 79. Are you comparing different errors? Sky Dade. We're comparing 2 different quarterbacks. Mend Legend, not you. Clicked wrong name. Oh. We're comparing different quarterbacks. Yes, they're from different eras, but how else are you supposed to compare people then? So let's compare, Josh Allen against who, I guess. That's what he wanted to do. Robbie. I think the 3 quarterbacks from the 90s that you can compare to Josh Allen are Randy Cunningham, Steve Young, Boomer Esiason. Well, because they were you're saying them because they were mobile. And for comparison purpose, yes. But then when you actually look at it, it's not even close. Because you can't tell me that Josh Allen isn't physical and strong enough to be able to put up with the old school type of football. Unlike some of the quarterbacks in today's world. Sorry for everyone I responded to. Cold Friends, a great show, and everyone here today. That's not I'm not upset at all, Robbie. Subscribe. Definitely subscribe, especially M Legend. M Legend, can you please follow me over there? I would really appreciate it. Everyone, if you're not, please subscribe immediately. We're getting there, baby. We're getting close. We're getting close. I can feel it. Did we have a big day today? Not all that big. That's okay. Everybody subscribe. How come you can't super chat in your channel? Well, Steven, that's because we're not at enough subscribers yet. And I think when we get to, I think it's 500, and then I can do that. The super chats and the memberships or whatever it is, then we can do that. Then 1,000 is for like ad monetization and AdSense and stuff like that. So, share it. Tell all your boys and girls, especially M Legend. M Legend, tell all your friends Subscribe and follow, and let's come on. And anybody on TikTok, if you're following, please go on to YouTube. Just hit a subscribe, and then you can leave. If you'd rather watch on TikTok, that's totally fine. We'll continue to do on both, but just cross-platform. Subscribe over there. Leave it alone. If you don't enjoy your content on YouTube, that's fine. I appreciate either way. And I would say Josh already has more rushing touchdowns than Cunningham. Oh my God, by 1 billion. It was 79 to 35 already. I mean, that's insane. 79 to 35, that's not even, I mean, Jesus. If we're talking about the better QB, just look at all the records Josh has broke. Getting the Super Bowl is a team effort. I am so with you, Spidey Muns, and I know that's a hot topic, and a lot of people think differently and all this other stuff. I agree solely that is 100% the truth. Since when did Randall Cobb? Do I keep on saying Randall Cobb? You know what I mean. Trek. Randall Cunningham. Randall Cobb might have a few attempts. I think Randall Cobb was left-handed. I think he actually threw a couple touchdowns, didn't he? Randall Cobb might be better than Randall Cunningham. I'll say that for M Legend. Randall Cobb passing stats. And I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Everybody, I'm joking. I could have sworn Randall Cobb has thrown some of those like end around tosses and what have you in his career in Green Bay. Scrimmage. Advanced receiving and rushing. No. Passing. Oh, man. So he has 4 attempts, 1 completion for 10 yards and a first down. If I actually remember that one, I think it was something else I was thinking about. Anyway, was not talking about Randall Cobb. Sorry, my apologies. We're talking about Randall Cunningham. How about if the Jets sent 5 first rounds, 3 seconds, 3 fourths, along with Breece Hall and 2 other players of Beane's choice for Josh Allen? I mean, come on, dude. Come on with that track. 5 first, 3. I mean, Josh Allen would no longer be a Bill. But it would not be an immediate yes, I swear to God. And I say that because of what he has done for the area, the city, the county, half or even more, 75% of New York State. And I really actually swear to you, I actually mean it when I say I think they would have to think about that. And I'm not saying that he's worth more than that. I'm just saying that I really think that would be one of the most difficult decisions of all time. Nate Barges, how you doing, Nate? Thank you, Zach the GOAT. Hell, Josh has more rushing touchdowns than Thurman Thomas. This is true. And everybody's got a freaking excuse for that. Oh, it's a tush push. No, okay. All right. Everyone's got an excuse against Josh Allen. Like, you either love him or you hate him. And the people that hate him just hate him because they're jealous. Like, you can't find any dirt on the man. He does fantastic for the community. He does amazing for the hospitals. You know, he doesn't get any off the field trouble. Like, that's the issue. And that's why people don't love him. They think that he's I don't even know. They just I can't make the big play. What are you talking about? You know? It's weird. It's weird. I don't understand it. Such is life. Zach says, how do we feel about the scheme change? Going to a 3-4, I feel like the Bills roster was better 4-3. New in terms of fit. So this whole beginning of this show up until about, 20 minutes ago, it's a half hour ago, that's what we were talking about. The 3-4 and the way that it'll look and the personnel and what I felt we need, which is another nose tackle. And we certainly need to solidify our linebacking crew. That said, this 3-4 is going to be much more aggressive, and I think that it's going to work wonders for the Buffalo Bills. I don't know of any other quarterback that hurdled like 3 people. Mark, you're not wrong. Toe Burrow, Lamar, my leg hurts, Jackson, Zach the Goat. Did Randall Cunningham start all them 16 years? I believe so. Maybe not, though. But either way, we went over his games played, right? Which was 20 or 13 or so more than, or 23 or 33 or something like that more than Josh Allen. So forget about the years, you know what I mean? Zach the GOAT. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Now, again, if anybody's on YouTube and you want to kind of replay this, or I'm sorry, if you're on TikTok, you want to kind of replay this and look at, I share my screen. We go over film. So I show breakdowns and clips of actual film with the players that I like and don't like and where I think they're a good fit and where they're not and so on and so forth. So if you go over to YouTube and you follow or subscribe over there, you can watch all of the videos that we've put up in the past. Everything that's live then lives in the YouTube world for forever. So that's a nice place to go kind of catch up at a later time. For sure. Before Beane makes that trade, renegotiate Josh's contract to include a player opt-out after one season. Yeah, and then bring him back, right? I know quarterbacks usually get a lot of hate, but it seems like people focus on Allen a lot for some reason. 100%, Ethan. You're absolutely right. And I think that the reason I just gave is what I truly believe is the reason why. I wonder how a defense would defend in a triple option offense with Josh Allen at quarterback, Thurman Thomas, and Jerome Bettis at full. I mean, my goodness. You know how I would also slide in there? And I might even, well, I don't want to say better, but I liked watching him more. Mike Allstott. Remember that name, Truck Reviewer? I'm dating myself a little bit, I guess, but Mike Allstott was an absolute stud. Zach, appreciate the follow, man. M Legend says, this started with you tearing down Super Bowl winning quarterbacks to prop up Allen. No, it didn't. Jim Kelly on Super Bowl under McDermott, 0% chance. And no, it did not start with me tearing down Super Bowl winning quarterbacks to prop up Allen. You said that he was not a winner and that Brad Johnson was a winner. You said that Josh Allen can't win the big games. So I said, meaning what? You said that quarterbacks were better in the playoffs than Josh Allen, because I think you were referencing when someone was comparing Josh Allen to Aaron Judge. So stop lying. Go back and read the chat. I absolutely did not start this conversation by tearing down Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. So the fact that you would even say that tells me that you're just completely full of it and you're trying to backtrack now and blame this whole thing on me, when you came in here and you were the one that started this whole ordeal. So please, again, I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be that way to anybody. But what I definitely won't stand for is someone like yourself telling me that I'm lying and that I started this whole argument when I didn't. It's not that big a deal either way, but just don't make stuff up. Let's talk about truth. That's all. Let's talk about truth. By far, I did not start that. Anyway, Bearded Toy Guy, what do you think of the new Spider-Man trailer? No idea. Not a clue, to be honest. Skydad E says, let's change overtime rules because poor Josh Allen didn't get to touch the ball. Skydad, yes. So, again, this is why people don't like Josh Allen. Let's change the what's a forward pass or not for Tom Brady. I mean, I don't know who you're a fan of, but let's determine that if you touch a quarterback, within 10 yards of the sideline, that it's a personal foul for Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I'm not arguing the fact that certain things change over time, but what is that? That's Josh Allen's fault? It's not. It's not at all. And I think that we all can appreciate the overtime a lot better now, if I'm being real. M Legend, I ripped Brad Johnson compared to Josh Allen after you brought him up, saying not him up. I'm sorry, saying that championships are how you grade quarterbacks. So I said, so you're telling me that Brad Johnson is a better quarterback than Josh Allen? And then I pulled up his statistics and said, it's not even freaking close. I didn't rip Brad Johnson. I ripped Brad Johnson in comparison to Josh Allen's statistics when you said Brad Johnson was better because he was a winner. Those are your words. Those are your words. I brought Brad Johnson up because you said Super Bowl will make a quarterback better than another quarterback who never was a Super Bowl winner. I said, absolutely not. So let's compare Brad Johnson to Josh Allen. And the numbers are not even close, which I showed and told everybody. You started that, my friend. Exactly. I opened up Brad Johnson, went, Josh Allen is good like Cunningham or Bledsoe, but he's not a championship leader. Okay. Again, we can rewatch this. It's on YouTube. We'll rewatch it and see what the truth is. DJ Moore for a second or Waddle for 1 and 3. How do you feel about the trade now? Oh, I think it makes the DJ Moore trade look even better, to be quite frank with you. But I was a fan of the DJ Moore trade even in the beginning. As soon as it happened, I was excited about it, to be honest with you. If we have the defense we did when Schwartz was our head coach, we would dominate the NFL. That defense was solid. Agreed. And I think that's what Jim Leonard should potentially and could potentially bring to the Buffalo Bills. Absolutely. I'm with you. It was lit, Spidey says. Yes, sir. I'm a Notre Dame fan. Plus, Bettis was a better runner and better receiver than a slot. Oh, than Allstott, in my opinion. I would also have Larry Sanders on the bench, so on passing downs you can go three wideouts, no tight ends, and 2 running backs. Yeah, no, listen, I'm not saying Allstott was better than Bettis. I just enjoyed watching that offense with Allstott and Warwick Dunn. To me, it was almost like Mike Allstott when I was growing up kind of was changing the fullback, the idea of what a fullback could be, because I always saw Jerome Bettis as a halfback, just totally different style runner, but as a running back. You know what I mean? That's all. That's just a preference, I guess, when I was watching, but I'm not saying he was better than the bus. Not saying that. I was watching an old Notre Dame game, and Bettis busted out a spin move. Yo, baby. Actually, he was footed, man, for being big. That boy could move around for sure. Says, okay, so Legend said Josh Allen is good like Cunningham or Bledsoe, but he's not a championship leader. Okay. That stuff, which is an intangible we could talk about, like that's a conversational piece. Zach the Goat says, oh, he's talking to MJ Legend or M Legend, excuse me. You brought up Brad Johnson before, sent a message. I know I did. That's what I'm saying. I used him in comparison when you were saying the championships are the way that you need to grade a quarterback. So I said, so you're telling me that Brad Johnson is better than Josh Allen. Should have hired Schwartz, not Rex Ryan. Jay Beasy, you think A.J. Brown will stay in the Eagles and sit out like Brandon Ayuk? Oh, God, I don't think he'll sit out, but I don't think he's going to leave the Eagles. I think it's too expensive for what they want. Trey Guy, hopefully we'll see you again this year. Broncos-Bills game 3 would be fun. Don't we? We play you in the regular season. We just don't know when. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to pull it up, but I think so. Yes, we play you in Denver, actually. We just, obviously, the schedule itself didn't come out. Only the opponents did. So the Denver Broncos and Buffalo Bills will be playing this year, at least once. Bever says, go Bills. Go Bills, baby. Jay Ant, do you think we need another wide receiver 1? No. Wesley Brown, Allen is definitely a leader and controls the game. I know. I mean, he's a leader, but I guess I can get behind some. Is he a leader of, winning championships? Tough to tell. I would like to see a little bit more out of him, but his way of leading might be different than what I enjoy, because I enjoyed the Tom Brady days when he was literally screaming and yelling all over the place when things weren't going his way. Now, just holding people accountable. Now, I don't agree with like pouting and crying and screaming when you fuck up. But when other people are just not doing their mental mistakes, you if you're Tom Brady or Josh Allen, you should be able to get on their ass a little bit. Expect greatness. Michael Jordan type shit, Zach, you're 100% right. This schedule is shitty. If I'm being honest, just pure shit for the Buffalo Bills. But you got to do what you got to do. If you want to win a Super Bowl, you got to deal with it. I mean, let's just deal with it. Go win games, baby. In 1990, Notre Dame had Ronnie Culver, Jerome Bettis, Ricky Waters. Oh, boy, yeah. Dorsey Levens in their backfield. That's stupid. Allstott was a beast, Robbie says. Think they will get another fullback? No, I think Jackson Hawes will be active or playing the active role of fullback. I can't believe they let Gilliam go. It's too much money. $4 million, man. You know, they're talking about Vandermark for $4 million. You know, that's a tackle. They might be thinking that Jackson Hawes could be their blocker. Excuse me, I didn't even read the second part. Yes, that is, I believe, what they're going to be doing for the season. All right, I think that's going to do it, boys and girls. M Legend, love you, man. Love the debate. I mean, nothing personal by it. Hopefully, it's mutual. I love going back and forth with anybody and everybody, talking ball. That's why we do this, right? So I appreciate you. And give me a follow, because I would love to have you around whenever we're on here and continue to talk. Quite frankly, at some point, what I got to do, someone like M Legend or anybody that would like to chat, what I got to freaking figure out. And again, I got to get to a point where we can start making a few dollar bills here first. So you need to subscribe and follow immediately, please. Really, please. Thank you. To help me out, because I would love to, and it probably is not free, get a version or an option to, at least on YouTube. I don't think it'll work on TikTok, but at least on YouTube, you know, a buddy of mine, Dan Mitchell, does this from time to time. Put in a like a phone number you can call in, and we can talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can actually talk instead of just crapping on each other, you know, like via the keyboard warrior type shit. So we can actually have a conversation, which would be super fun. I think everybody might enjoy that. I don't know how that works. I got to reach out to him because he does it, and I got to see how it goes. I'm assuming that shit's not free. So again, this whole thing we're doing here has got to start to make a few dollars before we invest too much back into it. I know you got to, you know, spend money to make money, but again, this is kind of like a hobby, but we're obviously a little bit more consistent than we have been over these last few weeks. So I'm really making a push at this, seeing if we can make this type of thing work. So tell all your friends, get everybody subscribed and followed, please, please, please. Anyway, really great episode today. Had a lot of fun with everybody, especially someone like M Legend, who actually just said, I believe, appreciate the jabs. Awesome. So there's no hard feelings. At least we're on the same page there. You like the Bills, just my honest opinion, to get the trophy. I think where we can find the mutual ground, like all of us, right, is that, especially for Bills fans, of course, that thing that you put after, you know, your sentence there, the Super Bowl trophy, the Lombardi, is where we can all kind of agree, right? Whatever the freak it takes to get that done, we all want to see happen. So that's where we will kind of lie in the same bed. Sounds weird, but you know what I mean. And we're all looking for the same goal. So again, appreciate everybody. Thank you, Carolina fan. But I'm going Jake Delhomme over Newton. M Legend, we're going to save my comments for another time. Okay. I get what you're saying, but we're going to talk about that the next time. All right. Appreciate it. Love you all. Really been a lot of fun. Great episode. If you did not catch all of it, as soon as this thing is published, which it will be shortly, hop back onto YouTube if you're only on TikTok, so you can see the film breakdown, see what we were talking about, Deone Walker, TJ Sanders, DJ Reader. How is this all going to work for the Buffalo Bills? I'm excited, man. I really am. We'll catch you soon. To the Yankees, New York Yankees out there. Maybe I'll start a baseball thing as well, and we'll see how that works. But, yeah, subscribe. I'm going to hit these last few comments here because I don't like to leave anybody hanging. I don't like this Friends League. I want it to be back like the old days when they were at each other's throats and didn't become friends until after their careers. I actually agree with you 1,000%. That's why I'm not really an NBA fan. They don't have to be enemies, but you don't have to talk. Lamar Jackson said it just a couple years ago. Like, I'm not your friend, bro. Not until after the season. We can be friends, but I'm your friend. Like, we're playing against each other. I'm not your friend. So I totally agree with you, Steven, 100%. Spidey, you're welcome, bro. Thank you, man. You've always been a huge supporter. You could slide in the backfield and sugar out Deone Walker. Yes, sir. Yes, Robbie. Thank you, bro. Walker did it in college. Yes, I know. But I still don't I don't know. Subscribe. Yes, you're right. I think it's Patreon. Oh, shit. Isn't that like a paid thing? Like, you got to have people like – I don't even know what Patreon is. Like subscribing, but you got to, like, pay, right? I don't know how it works. I'd love to have the phone number in here. That'd be awesome to talk to you guys, but we'll figure it out over time. And yes, if you do know what it is, Spidey or anybody, shoot me a message if you can, like an email that's on YouTube there, or comment on one of the videos, or I don't know, TikTok, same deal. You can send me a message if you know how to get that ability to have people call in to where we can talk. I have no clue. I got to reach out to Dan. I'll send him a note as well. All right, that's it. Love everybody. Talk to you later. Go Bills as always. Subscribe and follow. We will talk to you soon. Peace out. Go Bills. Cold front.